guys, how's everyone doing today? I wanted to come to y'all with a story that I thought was pretty sad. It is about Carlos Collins, who was from Mississippi, and he, I had watched on the news where his mama was saying that he wanted to follow her in her footsteps since he was little because she was an LPN. Well, the tragic news came to her yesterday morning where her son was unalived by his ex. And it says, Carlos Collins walked into a police station in Jacksonville, Mississippi multiple times in the past few months to tell and to make reports of his ex-boyfriend stalking him. It says Carlos also filed a restraining order against him. It was saying that Carlos' sister, Alicia Hudson, tells about his ex-boyfriend, Marcus Johnson, who was an ex-police officer that had resigned because he had did some other stuff. So he resigned before he got fired, and we'll go on into that a little bit later. And it says that in the last month that her brother was living in hell dealing with Marcus. The Jackson Police Department mishandled the case because they wasn't protecting him, even though he had filed several restraining orders. And it was so odd because he filed all these restraining orders, and this boy was setting up ring cameras in abandoned apartments where nobody lived, watching him. And one time he woke up, and Marcus Johnson was standing over him. It says early on Tuesday morning, April the 9th, the police responded to a violent scene at Carlos' apartment where the 25-year-old was found unalive. He was shot multiple times, and then that is, to make it worse, he even beat him. You know, he had trauma. So this guy was wacko, as many police reports they said that was found. This guy something was really off about him. He just didn't want to give up the relationship. And Carlos succumbed to his stalking. It says that Marcus Johnson, he fled, you know. He's 33-year-old and he's 25, so you can imagine. And Carlos was a handsome young man. Handsome. That's my thumbnail. If you ain't seen my thumbnail, that's Carlos. He was handsome. Not only was Carlos a RN, he was going on and pursuing his education to become a doctor. And all because somebody couldn't get over a relationship. His life was taken. And then it said about a year, they had dated and ended the relationship at the late in 2023. It says the months that followed their breakup, Collins found AirTags, trackers on his car, and also one on friends, as well as a ring camera that he believed his ex installed in a vacant apartment, as I told y'all, nearby to watch him. The sister said once her brother told her he had awakened to Johnson standing over him watching him sleep. Now you tell me that is not crazy. Hudson keeps on telling, she was telling this to news reporters. She said a conversation, she keeps going back to a conversation that she had with her, that was her baby brother. They both was nurses, and they was walking into the hospital that they worked at, and that her brother was not only pursuing higher, going on to be a doctor, but he was chosen multiple times in the past few months as being employee, outstanding worker of his department. Carlos was telling his sister that Johnson was obsessed. Before handing her his phone, he's obsessed. He says he's obsessed and then hands the phone to his sister, and she sees Johnson pacing outside her brother's apartment. That night, Collins called Hudson, and they went to a bar to celebrate a member. When he was pacing, they was at a bar celebrating a family member's birthday. And then they said it was really disruptive because they looked behind him, and guess who's there? You guessed it, Johnson. Now that's stalking. And I don't know why the police couldn't handle that case. Now, if I was them, I would probably go out there and suit against the Jackson, Mississippi Police Department. Yeah, that was one of y'all, but this man has got proof, video proof, car tags, all of that video, ring camera videos, and y'all still ain't doing nothing to protect him. Yeah, I would give me a right lawyer, and we will be in court because you caused a person their life by not protecting them. Because this man was one of y'all officers a couple of years back. But let me tell you why he lost his job. This man, Johnson, lost his job in 2015 because he stopped a girl, had a badge that wasn't his, wrote the girl a ticket, and I don't know what the ticket was for, but then he propositioned the girl and said, oh, if you mess with me, then we can drop that ticket. And it was all fake because he wasn't even a police officer. He had stole the ticket pad from the police department. He had stole the radio from the police department, and he was using another officer badge that was still working there. So that was charges. He was arrested and charged with fraud, false pretenses, grand larceny, and 2 counts of impersonating an officer at an apartment building at the university because this person was a student. I just told you he had an old ticket book. The radio was stolen and all of that from the old police department. Well, on March the 31st, 2014, leading to a court case of those charges, he went on and resigned because, he didn't want to get fired because if you get fired, that's down your record, and then he might not have could have been a police nowhere else, which he didn't need to be a police nowhere else anyway. They need these polices that they just assigning, they need to do a thorough check on their mind. Because this police officer that once was a police officer shouldn't have never been a police officer. Well, on April the 10th, they finally caught him in Richmond and in Rayville, Louisiana, and he is now waiting extradition back to Jackson. That was the end of the story. They said they don't know if he retained a lawyer, but that is just sad and sickening. And usually when it's black on black crime, it seemed like some police department don't give a flip. They failed Carlos. Because if they would have did their job and followed up on those stalking charges and all of that, Carlos could potentially still be here. But I hope Johnson get everything that he did to that young, smart, intelligent young man. I hope he get it right back to him. I hope God just whoop him. So that's the end of my video. I hope you all subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you know every time that I do a new video. Drop down in the comment section and tell me what do you think about this story. And until my next video, everybody be blessed.